Next up for our driver press conferences here at New Hampshire is Kyle Busch. He drives the number 18 M&M's Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. He's seated fourth as we begin the chase. He's got 3 victories on the season. And Kyle, talk about your mindset, your outlook for racing here this weekend. I know you also be in the Truck Series race. Good luck with that. And talk about your weekend here at New Hampshire.
Well, in the spring it wasn't too bad. We had a pretty decent week here in the spring and being able to run well. And I don't remember how the nationwide race went. I don't know.
You won.
Did I? Okay, good. So I won the nationwide race. That was nice, I guess. And then, we ran well in the Cup race. So I remember we started deep in the field and we just kind of worked our way forward throughout the race and made some good adjustments to the car. We weren't the fastest car, but we were about third, fourth, fifth place car. And then late in the going, we got tangled up with Burton there. So, feel like we've had some good momentum the past few weeks, especially from Bristol through Atlanta, through Richmond, and coming here to Loudon, hopefully being able to capitalize on all that and keep it going and start our chase off strong and get a chance to run my truck again and, try to have a good solid run with that and sell a few more raffle tickets for winkylestundra.com and getting some people interested in trying to win a Tundra.
Okay, questions for Kyle Busch. If you have one, raise your hand. We'll come to you. We've got one on the back row. Raise your hand high, and we'll get you the wireless. Right there next to Billy. Can't see who it is.
Pockris.
Bob Pockris, Scene Daily. You don't have the cameras around you, I guess, today. I guess that's over. Did you watch the show at all? And if you did, what'd you think?
I haven't seen it. No, I've been running all over crazy, so I haven't had a chance to see it. And so, maybe I'll get the DVDs and watch it later or something like that. But other than that, I've had a lot of good response from it. A lot of people have seemed to like it. A lot of people want to see it continue. I've also heard some people asking if we were going to do a wedding show. So I don't know. We'll see how it all goes. But it was fun. It was a neat deal, and to have them following around and kind of showing another side of what I do and what I go through and what other drivers go through was kind of neat. So hopefully everybody enjoyed.
We'll go David Caravello, Nate Ryan, Dan Gelston.
David Caravello, NASCAR.com. Kyle, you've had the misfortune of making the chase and coming out of here kind of buried in points after something goes wrong. Seems like every year there's another guy who has trouble in New Hampshire and spends the whole chase trying to dig out of it. Mentally, how difficult is that to deal with, and do you try to convince yourself you're still in it when something like that happens?
Yeah, mentally it's pretty hard to tell yourself that you still got a chance after that happens. I remember the first year we saw Kurt do it. He got wrecked here, and then he also blew up at Atlanta and still was able to win the championship by a mere 8 points or 3 points or whatever it was. So, I feel like there's still a chance, but you're gonna have to count on the other guys having a bad race, and you don't ever want to have to count on that because you don't know what can happen. So you want to do the best you can do week in and week out, and to perform well so you don't have to take a mulligan. If you don't have to take a mulligan, then you'll be further ahead. The further ahead you get, it seems like the easier it's going to be come Homestead. So that's how I look at it. So it's pretty devastating and disappointing when you come out of the first race, so far at the bottom, looking up and saying, man, how am I going to get back up there without those guys having trouble? It's hard to do.
Let's go Nate Ryan, Dan Gelston, Jay Hart.
Nate Ryan, USA Today. Kyle, go back to the ESPN show for a minute. What was the genesis of that? Did you go to them, or did NASCAR Media Group approach you? And also, what was the goal? Were you looking, did other drivers have reality shows that you looked at and said, hey, that's a good way to sort of let fans get to know me?
I don't know, Bill. How did it start? They came to us, basically. I had NASCAR calling me. I had NASCAR Media Group calling me. ESPN was calling Bill, I think. So it was everybody. They all wanted to do it. I didn't call. It wasn't something I wanted to do. I wasn't too interested in it. So I just said, whatever, let's do it, fine. Since there were so many people haggling me, I said, fine. But there really wasn't a purpose behind it. You'd have to ask ESPN what the purpose was. I think it was just to kind of show, what different NASCAR drivers go through, maybe, or to actually show a different side of me, to change my image. I don't know what their plan was, but the way it came together and the way they put it together, and I guess the way the shows were portrayed was pretty good. So I thank him for it after it's all said and done.
Let's go Dan Gelston, Jay Hart, Jim Utter.
Dan Gelston, the Associated Press. Kyle, you mentioned this week that you're having sponsorship trouble on the truck team. Has that been a surprise to you that someone like you is having trouble finding sponsorship, and what does that kind of say about the state of NASCAR and the economy, its relationship with sponsors, and what's kind of your deadline to decide what you're going to do for next year?
I don't have really a deadline set, but as far as it being, detrimental to the truck series, I think it's going to be pretty detrimental to not have myself in the series. The series is as we all know a lower budgeted series, but there's a lot of guys that are struggling to find funding. I know a couple guys out there that put sponsors on their trucks for almost a whole year for $250,000, $300,000. That's flooding the market. That's just killing the truck series. You can't do that. But they've got to get something. So for myself, it's hard. It's very hard. Look at Tony Stewart. He's got to find half of a sponsor for next year. Jeff Gordon's got to find something for next year. Mark Martin, they have HendrickCars.com. That's not a sponsor. That's Rick Hendrick putting his money on that car. You look at a bunch of the Nationwide Series cars. It's all across the board. Harvick's been struggling trying to find stuff for his truck program too. So it's unfortunate the way that the economy is, and it's going to be difficult for us race teams to stay in business without being able to have sponsors on our trucks or our cars or whatever it is. And unfortunately, it's bad for the race teams to have to work through so many hoops in order to get a sponsor. For instance, I can't thank Sprint enough. They do a great job for what they do for the Sprint Cup Series, but it locks out Verizon, it locks out AT&T, it locks out any other telecommunication company that you could try to get in. The tobacco debacle now with the United States government, that's locked out people that have the money to do it. The people that have the money to do it can't or don't want to do it. The guys that want to do it don't have the money to do it. So you're fighting two avenues there, and being an owner and being able to talk to all these guys, I'm kind of finding that out.
Let's go with Jay, and then Jim Utter and Mike Embry.
Jay Hart, Yahoo Sports. You sort of talked about sort of having your, mulligan here, that sort of, being put in a hole here at New Hampshire, and obviously that's what happened, 2 years ago, I think, to you coming here. How have you sort of changed, matured mentally? Because I think everybody here thinks you have the talent, but does Kyle Busch have the mental makeup to make it through 10 races? How have you changed from 2008 to today?
Well, it's a lot easier to just go through and run consistently. Unfortunately, it was the first 3 races in 2008 that were mechanical failures. It wasn't driver error. I wasn't driving into wrecks or making mistakes or something like that. We had the sway bar fall off here, and then we went to Dover, we blew up, and then Kansas, we had a fuel pickup issue the whole race. So those were the problems we had in the first 3 races, and we were 12th in points, 380 points behind or something like that. So the chase is over. What do you want me to say? We're not going to win the deal. So we were just struggling to try to get a top 10 finish out of it, and luckily I finished 10th and was actually able to go to New York for the banquet. But, I learned a lot last year through the Nationwide Series and running for the championship there, but we were pretty consistent. We ran well. We ran 3rd. We ran 5th. We ran, we ran 7th. We won. We ran pretty consistent. And in order to win a championship, you have to run consistent. You have to be able to be there every single week, fighting for that top 5, fighting for that top 10. And in those weeks, when you're running 4th and you're trying to pass for 3rd, it's like last week. And when I was running 2nd trying to pass for the win, I wasn't going to do anything stupid. You take that finish and you go on into the next week, and maybe karma will reward you back a little bit and give you a better finish a couple weeks down the road.
Do you feel like you've matured as a driver, not necessarily talent-wise, but like you said, to make a decision like you did?
I don't know. You make the call.